Hey, what's going on YouTube? Brandon with Taylorsfiresmoke cooking here. Welcome in. Today we are going to make some delicious smoked chicken thighs and cabbage. Let's get into this cook. It's going to be good. All right, guys, here we have our chicken thighs. We have 8 thighs here that have been washed, trimmed, and ready to go. Now all we're going to do now, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil into the bowl here. I'm doing this just because it's just going to help really distribute the seasoning as we add it to the chicken here, instead of having it laid out on a pan or anything. You know, we're going to season our chicken up, and as we mix it around like that, it's going to help distribute the seasoning amongst all the chicken. We're going really simple on our seasonings today. We're just using a little Lowry seasoning salt, and we're going to use the Uncle Steve's Smoke Bomb. The Lowry's is for the seasoning for the salt, and the Smoke Bomb is going to provide the smokiness and the pepper and the garlic and all the other different little notes that add to our chicken, as well as color. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Uncle Steve's Smoke Bomb is amazing, especially on chicken. It gives you everything you need as far as your paprika and your garlic and your pepper and all those notes. You just might want to add a little bit of salt with it, or your favorite seasoning that has a little bit more of a sodium content, and you'll be good to go. So what we're doing now is just mixing up our chicken. You can see how the seasoning is distributing amongst the chicken very well, and that's the reason why we added our olive oil, also to help with our chicken from sticking when we put it onto our smoker. And we're actually going to be using our little A-Smoke portable pellet grill on today. Just a little simple and easy cook. So finish getting this chicken seasoned up. We're gonna let it sit for a few minutes as I go outside and get the A-Smoke heated up. You guys stay tuned. All right, my peeps, we outside, and I got the A-Smoke running at about 275 degrees. We're gonna run it at about 275 or so for the first 30 to 45 minutes. Then we're gonna crank it up a little higher in order to get that chicken skin a bite through. You know, when you're smoking chicken and you're smoking at a lower temperature, sometimes you can get that rubbery skin, or that skin that comes completely off the chicken when you bite it. Doing it this way, I've found, especially on this little pellet grill, it helps with preventing that. Now what we're going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and add in a probe to this chicken. The only reason I'm adding this probe into the chicken is actually, I just want to test the accuracy of the probe. They've been known to go out, they've been known to be inaccurate, and I just like to kind of keep a tabs on it for when we are using that. So I will measure it against a different gauge as we go along. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on our cabbage. Right, we have here 2 smoked turkey tails going to get them tender, as well as add some nice flavor to our broth for our cabbage. And I have 2 smaller heads of cabbage, and all I wanna do, I just wanna cut them down. You can cut them however you want. I kind of like my cabbage cut into, I would say, medium-sized pieces. And what I like to do, I just like to take it and cut my cabbage pretty much into fourths. And then once we cut it into fourths, like you see here, I will go ahead and begin to break it down even further into smaller pieces. Now you can cut yours however you like. If you want them a little bigger, make them bigger. If you want a little smaller, make them smaller. And once we do this, we're going to go ahead and transfer it into a colander and get our cabbage cleaned up real well. Make sure that you do cut out the core. You don't want to cook that core up. That core has a tendency to be bitter, and it will be hard and nasty in your cabbage. So we're going to go ahead and continue to cut our cabbage up, and I'll meet you guys back here in a moment. All right, guys, so I've pulled my turkey tails out of the broth for now, and now we're just going to go ahead and shred that turkey. It does not take cabbage very long to cook. That's the reason why I started my turkey tails prior to adding my cabbage or anything, because your cabbage will get done well before your turkey tails are fall apart tender like they are now. So we did have these tails going for roughly an hour or so prior to adding our cabbage, and then we're going to just shred it up real good. And then when we begin to put our cabbage in our pot, we're going to layer our smoked turkey meat in there as well. So you can see how easy it just falls off the bone. Make sure you don't have any little small bones in your meat. That way people won't be in for a rude awakening or a surprise as they're enjoying your cabbage. All right, so we're back at the pot here, and we're just going to begin to add some seasoning. I'm adding in some fresh cracked black pepper. We're going to add in about a tablespoon of chicken bouillon or chicken base. I love this. It provides a good rich flavor as well as the sodium. We're going to add in some granulated onion, some granulated garlic, and we're going to put in some fresh onion as well. You know, pretty much season your cabbage how you like. I like mine pretty basic, no sugar or anything. I know there's some people that put in sugar, not me. We're also putting in some green pepper as well. That is definitely optional. So a lot of people do not add green pepper to their cabbage, but I do like the flavor. So we're just gonna layer in some of the onion and green pepper, the granulated onion and garlic and things like that, pepper. So we're gonna add in some of our turkey meat. I'll add all that into the pot, and then we're going to start putting in our cabbage. Again, our cabbage has already been washed and everything, so it's just ready to go. And you just go ahead and start dumping it on in. I like to layer in the seasonings or the meat and the onions. You don't have to. I just like to. It just makes it easier, in my opinion, to make sure that you have everything distributed all the way through your cabbage and not just sitting on top or at the very bottom. So you can see now we have a good portion in there. Now we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of our turkey meat, our onions and peppers. A little bit more of our garlic and onion. More pepper. But one thing we are not going to add is any salt or chicken base to this layer. We're going to cook it down, and we're going to wait until we get, you know, toward the end in order to see if we need to add any more salt or sodium to it. So we're just going to do now is going to add in the rest of our cabbage. We're going to put the lid on top and let it cook down some before we begin to do anything else to it. So we'll see you guys back out in a little bit as we go outside to check on our chicken. All right, family, we're back outside now. We just want to go ahead and check on our chicken and see how it's coming along. You can see now we're starting to pick up some really nice color. And want to give my pellets a check, make sure they're good on there. And we're just checking the bottoms to make sure it's not overly cooking. You can see it's pretty fairly even all the way around. Now the back right hand side and the front right hand side of my this cooker, one side cooks a little cooler and the other side cooks a little warmer. So I am going to take those two pieces of chicken and kind of just swap them around. Then we're going to go ahead and let the lid back down and continue to let it go for a little bit before we come back outside and flip the pieces over. But so far so good, and everything is doing well. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check on our cabbage. We've allowed our cabbage to cook down for about 10 minutes. And you can see now that it's beginning to lower in our pot. When you cook cabbage, it shrinks down quite a bit, and it begins to release its own liquid. Cabbage is a very, very, very liquidy vegetable, so it doesn't take a lot of liquid in order to get it going. I am going to add in at about 3/4 cup or so of chicken stock just to help with it, because I'm going for more of a steamed or a boiled cabbage as opposed to a fried cabbage. But you don't have to add much liquid because the cabbage will release a lot of its own, and everything is looking good, it's smelling good, and all I want to do is just make sure that we get everything well incorporated. So we're just mixing, going to the bottom and folding everything around in order to make sure that everything is getting incorporated the way that it should. All right, y'all, so we've reached about the 45-minute mark on our chicken. So now we're just going to go ahead and flip it on over. See how good it's looking. The bottoms are looking perfect. The chicken is looking perfect. The color is amazing on here, and it's cooking exactly the way that we want. So we're just going to give everything a nice little flip. Then what I'm going to do, I am going to increase this temperature. I'm going to boost it up to 325 for about the next 20 or 25 minutes in order to get that skin the way that we want and to finish out our cook. I'm also going to go ahead and check temp right now, just to see where we're reading as far as our bird is concerned, and I want to make sure that it matches up with the other probe that's built into the machine. So I'm reading about 172 right now, and the probe on the smoker is reading just about the same thing. So it's accurate, and that I'm pleased and I'm happy. So we're going to go ahead and flip it on over and continue to let it go. I'm going to pull this probe out. Let's get this chicken finished up. All right, family, we've been cooking our cabbage now for about 20-25 minutes. Now I want to go ahead and get a taste, see if we need to add any more seasonings to it. It's just about at the texture that I want. I don't like my cabbage super mushy, and I definitely don't want it crunchy. I just kind of like it to have just a little bit of a bite, but definitely more on the tender side. So it's tasting pretty good right now. We're going to add in a little more pepper. I do like pepper. A lot of times I like to add crushed red pepper to my cabbage, but my kids aren't the biggest fan of that. And then we're going to go ahead on and add in a little sea salt. It could use a little bit more salt in it, so we're going to add in some sea salt to finish it off and give it a nice little toss. We're really good on our garlic and our onion, but we just want to make sure that it is seasoned and pleasing to your palate. All right, guys, that's it. We're ready to go. All right, guys, now it's time to get this chicken pulled on off. Total cook time on our bird was about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And this chicken is smelling amazing. Color is perfect. Just look at that. Skin is nice and crispy, nice and juicy. Cooked really, really well. I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. I know it's seasoned up to perfection, and it's going to go perfect with this cabbage we got going. And just look at that. This juice is flowing. Juice is just flowing. My. All right, y'all, and here's our finished plate. We've got our chicken, we've got our cabbage with smoked turkey, and I went on and made some cornbread. Now we're going to smash. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Till the next time, God bless you. We'll see you around. Peace and love.